Morning, everyone. Welcome to Chansha One Morning Devotion. I'm Pastor Milhan. As you know, and Kathleen is still not feeling well. Keep her in our prayers. So I'll be leading today. Let's begin by greeting our Heavenly Parent and your parent.
현지인 장로님께 경배. 바로
For our family pledge, 가정 맹세 1. 천연국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조의 상일 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천연국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천연국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천연국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천연국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천연국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천연국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 효통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 진정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천연국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 천연국 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. Thank you for joining us today. And can I invite Mr. Shivaji Khadka? It's good to see you. Would you be able to pray for us this morning?
Good morning. Please join in prayer. Good morning, our most beloved Heavenly Parent and to parents. Thank you so much for giving us such a wonderful opportunity where we all, our Manhattan family church and our brothers and sisters, our pastors, we are joining together to receive your words, to receive your holy words. We are so lucky people, Heavenly Parent. So among the 7.8 billion people around the world, so very few people we know we are receiving, but we have a responsibility to really multiply this message to all our other people too, in our community, in our tribe. Sorry, Heavenly Parent, we could not able to do that. We could not able to fulfill your expectations. So we will have a strong desire to do. we have a strong determination to do, to really feel you proud. Wow, my kids, my children are doing well. You can say, you can feel our like that kind of uh, uh, in your heart. That's our goal. That's our mission, Heavenly Parents. To mother, always emphasize, really, with one witnessing, two witnessing, three witnessing. Dr. Onyong, when he lead the Munduke, he always also guide us. Now, Pastor Milon, now really leading us and guiding us, establishing Sangsangon in Harlem Center, living there, staying there with family, and working hard. So we all unite and work together, even though everyone have our own personal problem, our family problem. Beyond this, we have to really overcome all situations. We know how to parents really overcame in their life, even many times, many travels, many difficulties come their life, but never give up. So we really know the thing. So we need to go forward. Even we have to really challenge our own limitation and march forward. That's the only way. Thank you, Heavenly Parents. Even this time, I really want to pray all my loving family members who join or who could not able to join. I really pray each and everyone their well-being and good health. I really we are happy to receive your word, our mothers, memory, and really want to welcome all absolute good spirit and good ancestors work together, spiritual world mobilize, and we can feel your love and we can really return glory and beauty to you also. Thank you so much. I report this prayer on behalf of all my loving brothers and sisters in our name, Shivaji and Harimaya Khadga, blessed center family of Changalgu. Aju, Aju. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shivaji, for your prayer and support. Let's now go into our Godable reading from the Mother of Peace, episode 13.
Welcome to Mother of Peace, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. A memoir by Hak Jahan Moon, a production of the Washington Times Global Media Group, narrated by Alison Hiroto. South Korea was a strange place to us. Having never been to Seoul, we had no idea how we could survive. And we were getting lost constantly. We also had lost the moorings of our faith. The hope to meet the returning Lord was indeed floating in the clouds. We had no money and no skills by which to make a living. We camped in a shabby, empty house and barely made it through each day. All we could do was talk to people. Our most urgent task was to find my maternal uncle, Sun Jong. He was the only person we could depend on in South Korea, and we were hoping he was somewhere in Seoul. My mother pleaded in prayer, "What should I do to find my younger brother?" She prayed most earnestly every day to find her brother on whom she could rely. We devoted ourselves to this search by visiting clinics and pharmacies. Then, we received an unexpected blessing from God. We met a man on the street who turned out to be a friend of my uncle's. This was indeed God's providential help. His friend told us that Uncle Sun Jong was serving at the Army headquarters in Seoul's Yongsan district. After returning from Japan, he had graduated from the College of Pharmacy in Seoul and then received training as a pharmaceutical officer in the Korean Military Academy. He was currently serving as a first lieutenant. This kind man took us to Yongsan, and what a reunion it was. Sun Jong was delighted to see his mother, sister, and niece. He had no idea of the conditions in the north and was so distressed to hear of what we had gone through to get to Seoul. He immediately rented a small room for us in Gyeongchang-dong. Our life in the south soon stabilized. I entered Hyochang Primary School and, in the free land of South Korea, began going to school for the first time. I loved going to school with my bag of books every day. The older residents of the neighborhood would pat me on the head, and the neighborhood children also liked me very much. Looking back, I find it interesting that our rented room was close to Chongpadong, the neighborhood in which, 7 years later, we would end our search for the Lord at the Second Advent. Until that day arrived, however, we endured many twists and turns on our odyssey. While at Hyocheon-dong, we heard the news that Jong Suk-chung, the eldest son of the founder of the Holy Lord Church, had settled in South Korea. We took it as a miracle and prayed that God would guide us to meet him. All in all, we praised God that my uncle was serving as an army officer and that Jong Suk-chung's family from the Holy Lord Church had come to the South. Without doubt, our Heavenly Parent prepared a path to protect the one called to serve humankind as the only begotten daughter, the one to whom he would entrust the providence. Now that our physical pilgrimage had reached an oasis, it was time to renew our spiritual pilgrimage. A blue flash of death. It was early on a hot summer morning. Red balsam flowers blossomed on one side of our courtyard, and thick old willow and sycamore trees stood along the street. I was 7 years old, but I remember the moment clearly as a frantic neighbor burst into our living room with the words, "War has broken out. The North Korean army has crossed the 38th parallel." Apprehensive residents gathered in the alley in groups of 2 and 3. I had been getting used to settled life in the South, but when the North Korean People's Army launched their invasion, our short respite was over. Everyone was frightened. Government reports mingled with rumors, and no one knew for sure what was going on. What happened was that the South Korean interim government packed up and moved to the city of Daejeon, 90 miles to the south of Seoul. The government ordered the South Korean army to blow up the Han River Bridge, the only bridge across the Han River on the south side of Seoul. They expected North Korean troops to arrive in Seoul soon, and they had no means to protect the city. Their strategy was to prevent the Communist army from crossing the river. They could do little or nothing to help the city's residents, who were crying out for Seoul's defense. 2 days later, my mother woke up at dawn and began packing our clothes in a bundle. Awakened by the rustling noise, I kept my eyes shut and listened to her conversation with my grandmother. "We have to seek refuge," my mother said. "After the communists get here, they'll kill us." "I know they are bad," my grandmother responded. "But do you think they would treat women harshly?" "If they find out we have escaped from the north," my mother reasoned, "they probably will kill us on the spot." On the evening of June 27th, 1950, 2 days after the start of the Korean War, Seoul residents streamed out of the city's ancient neighborhoods under a gentle summer rain. The more they realized that they were not the only ones seeking to escape and that they all had to cross the same bridge, the more serious and desperate they became. This was war. My grandmother, mother, and I joined the exodus with our bundle, following the throng moving toward the Han River Bridge. When its dim shape appeared in the dark, something told me to stop, and I grabbed my grandmother's skirt. She stopped in her tracks, and my mother turned and asked her, "Mother, what's wrong?" Grandmother looked up at the sky and then glanced down at me. Then she turned her head again in the direction of our house. "Soon Jong may come," she said with a steady tone, speaking of her son, my uncle. It seemed senseless to turn around when everyone else was fleeing the city, but she was firm. "Let's go back in case he does." My mother understood. The three of us made our way back home, fighting the crowds. When we got home, I spread out my blanket and lay down to sleep. But it was not long before I was awakened by the noise of a 3/4-ton truck. Its headlights illuminated our room as the door suddenly burst open. There was my uncle in his military uniform. My grandmother and mother gasped sighs of relief and hope. I thought to myself, we can leave now, and felt at ease. "Hurry," he barked. "We have to move now." Uncle Soon Jong, based in the Army headquarters as a military medic, was aware of the progress of the war. As soon as he heard that the South Korean Army was preparing to destroy the Han River Bridge, he requisitioned a truck and sped to our home, knowing his family was in danger. He had left the truck with its engine running in our foggy alley. We climbed in with our already packed bundle, and he drove toward the bridge. In the pre-dawn hours, crowds of refugees were swarming there from all directions, creating total chaos. We moved forward at a snail's pace on the congested street. As an Army officer, my uncle had the official pass necessary to take a vehicle across the bridge. Honking the horn, he inched the truck through the crowd. Held in my mother's arms, I clung to her and gazed at the people fleeing their homes, their fear and confusion increasing by the minute. As soon as we had crossed the bridge, my uncle shouted, "Get down in your seats!" As I squeezed down on the floor at my mother's feet, a huge explosion behind us shook our truck. There was a blue flash and a deafening sound. My uncle set the emergency brake and turned off the engine. Together we jumped out of the truck and clambered down into the ditch at the side of the road. I turned my face to the bridge and witnessed the next explosion. I saw a light like a demon's burning eyes piercing the night. Countless civilians, as well as soldiers and policemen who were crossing the bridge, were thrown about like plastic toys, flying everywhere, cast into the river below. For us, a few meters proved to be the difference between life and death. Our lives had been spared. I closed my eyes, and many thoughts flashed across my mind. Why would anyone start a war? Why did innocent people have to die? Why is God permitting such pain and suffering? Who can bring an end to this madness? I could not conceive of any answers. When I reopened my eyes, I saw that the bridge was cut in half. The military had accomplished its mission at the cost of hundreds of lives. What remained amid the corpses, the screaming wounded, and the dazed survivors was an ugly skeleton of steel, smoldering in the dark.
Thank you for listening to Godable. Visit motherofpeacebook.com to purchase.
Thank you, God, and your parents, for these words today. You know, I winced looking at the subheading here about having to listen to this again and again. It's difficult. You know, it's when you hear about war and you hear about how bad it is, it makes you feel guilty that we live so comfortably. You know, we complain about petty things when people are literally being slaughtered in other countries, and just horrific crimes are taking place everywhere. And sometimes you feel the responsibility to bring peace to the world. It's just overwhelming. It can break a lot of people, and so it has. Many of our friends who've been in this church for a while have had to stop. It was too much for them. And so that's the time you got to go to prayer. That's the time you need to seek God's counsel, as my mother did in this passage, just asking, why do people start war? Just start asking questions, and that is the beginning. That is the first step. And then God will lead us into what we can do. Into the highlights, we had no money. We had no money and no skills by which to make a living. Like I just mentioned before, just now, we seem powerless to make any impact, to save a life, to do anything, make peace in the world. Yet that's the same people God is asking to do great things. And so we have to look beyond our present reality and seek God's guidance and what can be done. God can use us in amazing ways. My mother pleaded in prayer. Again, constant rapport with God, constantly asking God what to do. It's not obvious sometimes what to do. And then they receive an unexpected blessing from God. And they're wandering around. There's no cell phones, and all of a sudden they meet someone who knew their uncle, the one person they're looking for, with thousands and thousands of people walking around. It's a miracle, but heaven does that. Without doubt, our Heavenly Parent prepared a path to protect the one called to serve humankind as only begotten daughter, the one whom He would entrust the providence. Yes, it's nothing short of a miracle / heaven working, intervening in the life of your mother to keep her alive. This was war. When its dim shape appeared in the dark, something told me to stop, and I grabbed my grandmother's skirt. So, like true mother's mother is always in prayer, true mother also had a sense, and communicating with God, she just couldn't move. She had to stop. And so she was also influenced by spirit world to protect their lives. And so should we be, and being sensitive to where God wants us to go. Many thoughts flashed across my mind. So, as we know, even true father, when he saw such great suffering in his life, that's when he went to the mountaintop and asked his questions to God. So even us, we all have our own challenges too. But as we read this today, and let us also ask these same questions to God. Let us really feel God's heart on this subject today, and let it give us rebirth in this new day and what we can do to make this world a better place. Thank you. Let's now go into our breakout room, share our reflections and appreciations, and come back. back, everyone. I hope you had a nice sharing in your breakout rooms. Let me invite Alfonso Tapia. Would you be able to share a word?
Yes, good morning, Milton.
Good morning.
Yes, it's amazing how we feel a pain and in the heart, because when true mother is a child, and she always like desperation to move into south, and even when she saw the bridge, it's like only the moving start, and but this experience is so painful. Yes, thank you, Milhan. It's my reflection.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go to our prayer. If there's any prayer requests, please let us know. Again, Aunt Kathleen, she needs prayer. She's feeling very dizzy with a headache, and so she believes one more day that she can fully recover before I'm seeing again. You can keep praying for me, clarity of my roles. I believe God has a plan, so not my will, but thy will be done. That's all I ask. Brother Sebastian? Yeah.
I'd like to ask if you could pray for celebrating Dietrich Seidel, Dr. Dietrich Seidel's 80th birthday in the spirit world today, and it's 7 years of going to the spirit world. That's also the same. So if you could include him, it's a celebration of his life.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right.
Sir, good morning. I had a dream about this last night, and what stood out was your daughter to me, that I really wanted to pray for Harlem Center and the safety of the members there. And I felt like she was like truly the reincarnation of True Father. And when we were on the phone yesterday, like she was really trying to, speak and slap you and get out all the negative spirits and all the evil spirit world trying to attack you. So I felt like, you were in great hands. Your daughter was such a support to you. So, it really reinforced my feeling of trying to pray for members who have such an important role, like Auntie Kathleen and especially Brother Keisatsu. So I wanted to make sure that we really pray for our members, that we actually take care of ourselves, because these are trying times that we're in right now, and Satan wants to attack us individually based on our health, because without our health, we can't really do much. So I really wanted to pray for all our health, you know what I mean? So that we can take care of each other, so that we can fulfill our roles. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Joel.
천심원 residence prayer sheet.
Benepan, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this morning devotion. Thank you for taking care of Shivaji. Such a beautiful prayer this morning. Reverend Milhan's reflection of the theme, call to listen, the war, the mother shares, pain, Tapia was saying, the phone call of Father True mother sensitivity of
Mother,
predicting what was coming. Pulling
Mother,
on True mother's skirt.
Mother,
They wouldn't go back.
I'm taking care of.
Listen to True
Savior,
mother. Would pray
Giving
look up into heaven
our
and
healer,
decide to go back.
heaven done
Easy
working
decision
demons.
to make. But while everybody's going the other direction,
Every every
hoping that son,
only begotten,
missed the connection,
only begotten,
that her son was on the way.
move on to my
Help them and take
to
care of them.
Each and every one.
It's so incredible to me that tell a story. There's only one bridge. There's only one bridge across the Ohio River. And the South Carolina government has ordered Father this destroyed. Decision to make by the people that in charge, Father. All such great people having to decide such making such a decision in the war. Father, people have the mind to do something like that.
Thank you for your
You have saved and protected to make it again, Father, just like getting down to his house.
blessing and
Some kind of a novelty of going to school time at 7 years of age. But when he had been going to school for at least a year or two, parent or the kids going yesterday again, calling that your mother had. It's a direct communication with you. Inspiration and follows. It's also in song. It's allowed them to survive. Talk. Again, Father, they're pulling on some reason she pulled on the mother's skirt. She doesn't remember why, but motivated by habit. The skirt, Father. Understood. Sensitive. Against all odds, Father. Soon after that, the truck arrives. The truck has the ability to move faster than the crowd. And over the bridge, just in a matter of seconds. Father, having this memory,
ministry of restoration.
the old Father, having that opportunity, that she had found out that Satan tried to destroy her at birth. And she was very serious about that story as well. I'm not sure when that's imminent. Because of this we're able to protect her. That is the beginning stage, Father. The beginning of the mother is 7 years old. 7 years later, Father. So 8 years later, she's blessed. Mother, it's incredible how this all unfolded. Glory, Father, is so intensive. Spirit world have to get the earth is make this decision, do those things, do that support each other. Joel, Hal, Celine, each is celebration today. Father, on communication is Alien, Father, to work out the best each way, Father, what he can do. I just provide us in the Holland, Metro Family Church. Are supporting him from all across the state, from the Northeast region, the United States, Father. It's number one, which see the multiplier you have given us, Father. Multiply the seeds that you have sown. Water them, take care of them. Pray Michael Parker show up here for it. Must be something that drastically happens. He's a man of character. No man who studied hard, Father, being a pharmacist. He's a man of his right mind. God wouldn't do something like that. It's a really tragic. Pray that you will be with them. Brother Eddie Moorman, full health, support in the mission that we have. Melissa Piano has come to a temporary repair yesterday. Father, please bless Alyssa. If yearning and if in their heart, making others friends of hers this table, Father, for her to become a member of her.
전진 참모님께 경배. 바로 전국의 9시인 하늘 부모님, 전진 참부모님, victory for the Chuncheon One Residence Prayer. Thank you all for joining today. Earlier than usual, but it's God's little gift this morning. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless. Have a great day. Take care.
God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you. Have a good day. Take care.
Bye bye.
Have a nice day.